Welcome to MysteryStock. We're going to tell you about a handful of mysteries today which truly mind-boggle us. Grab a snack, sit back and enjoy this video we made for you. First up, the incident at Dyatlov Pass. On the first night of February 1959, 9 ski hikers died mysteriously in the mountains of what is now Russia. On the night of the incident, the group had set up camp on a slope, enjoyed dinner, and prepared for sleep, but something went wrong, because the group never returned. A search and rescue team found the hikers' abandoned tent, which had been ripped open from the inside and badly damaged. Surrounding the area were footprints left by the group, some wearing socks, some wearing a single shoe, some barefoot, all of which continued to the edge of a nearby wood, where the first 2 bodies were found, shoeless and wearing only underwear. The scene bore marks of death by hypothermia, but as medical examiners inventoried the bodies, as well as the other 7 that were discovered over the months that followed, hypothermia no longer made sense. Theories include KGB interference, drug overdose, UFO, gravity anomalies, and the Russian version of the Yeti. The only consensus remains that whatever happened involved an overwhelming and possibly inhuman force. On 11 July 2020, Andrei Kuryakov, deputy head of the Urals Federal District Directorate of the Prosecutor General's office, announced an avalanche to be the official cause of death for the Dyatlov group in 1959. Later independent computer simulation and analysis by researchers also suggest avalanche as the cause. We're thinking there was no avalanche here, but what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Now this next one was featured on Unsolved Mysteries, the TV series. For around 1 year in the early 80s, 20-year-old Cindy Anderson had vivid nightmares of being abducted and murdered. Then, one morning in 1981, she disappeared, never to be seen again. Prior to the incident, someone had twice spray-painted "I love you Cindy" by GW on a wall near the legal office where she worked, but police could never figure out who did the graffiti. One witness recalled that Anderson had received a call the day before her disappearance that left her upset, and a month later an anonymous woman phoned police to say Cindy was being held in a basement in a nearby house, but wouldn't provide any other details. Cindy's family found no reason for her to disappear, especially because she was raised in a strict religious environment. Also, she was planning on quitting her job in 2 weeks and going to a Bible college with her boyfriend, so she had plenty to look forward to. In November 1995, a federal grand jury handed down a 25-count indictment of 9 individuals and charged them with involvement in a large drug distribution ring in Toledo. 2 of those indicted were Cindy's employer, which added a lot of weight to a theory that she knew too much about a drug ring. Just the fact that she predicted her own disappearance, and we still don't know where she went, is frightening to us here at MysteryStock. We hope you're enjoying the video so far. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a post. This next mystery is not for the faint of heart. Some of the details of this crime are truly grisly. Viewer discretion is advised. Now we take you back to 1947, where the remains of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia, were found in Los Angeles, California. The body was cut in half, and so pale and drained of blood that the person who found the body mistook it for a mannequin. Elizabeth Short was cut with surgical precision, leaving no trauma to internal organs and bones. Her face was also cut from her mouth to ears, leaving an eerie permanent smile. There was no blood on the ground, making it believed that the body was moved after she had been murdered. 9 days after she was discovered, an envelope was sent to the examiner addressed by using individual cut and pasted letters from magazines and newspapers. It read, "The Los Angeles Examiner and other Los Angeles papers, here is Dahlia's belongings, letter to follow." As promised, the envelope contained Short's social security card, birth certificate, photographs, names written on pieces of paper, and an address book with pages missing, and the name Mark Hansen embossed on the cover. Gasoline was used to clean the objects, removing any fingerprints. On March 14, 1947, a suicide note scrawled in pencil on a piece of paper was found in a shoe among a pile of men's clothing by the ocean's edge at the foot of Breeze Avenue in Venice. The note read, "To whom it may concern, I have waited for the police to capture me for the Black Dahlia killing, but have not. I am too much of a coward to turn myself in, so this is the best way out for me. I couldn't help myself for that, or this. Sorry, Mary." The lifeguard captain immediately notified the West Los Angeles police station. The clothes included a coat and trousers of blue herringbone tweed, a brown and white shirt, white jockey shorts, tan socks, and tan moccasin shoes, about size 8. However, the clothes gave no clue about the identity of their owner. Although many suspects were named, no authorities were able to identify the Black Dahlia's killer, and the mystery has gone unsolved for over 70 years. Next up, the Silent Twins. June and Jennifer Gibbons, known as the Silent Twins, barely talked to anyone except each other for almost 30 years. In April of 1963 at a hospital in Yemen, twin girls were born. Their births were not unusual, nor were their dispositions as infants, but soon enough, their parents began to see that June and Jennifer Gibbons were not like other girls. Not long after their girls hit speaking age, Gloria and Aubrey Gibbons realized that their twin daughters were not only far behind their peers in regard to language skills, but they were also unusually inseparable, and the two girls seemed to have a private language that only they could understand. By the time the girls were teenagers, their language had become unintelligible to anyone else. They had also developed other peculiarities, such as refusing to communicate with virtually any outsiders, refusing to read or write in school, and mirroring each other's actions. In February of 1977, a speech therapist met with the two girls. While refusing to speak in front of the therapist, the two consented to having their dialogues recorded if left alone. Ultimately, the decision was made to separate the Silent Twins and send them off to two different boarding schools. The hope was that, once they were on their own and able to develop a sense of self, the girls would break out of their shells and begin to communicate with the wider world. It was immediately clear that the experiment was a failure. Rather than branch out, June and Jennifer Gibbons withdrew entirely into themselves and became almost catatonic. Upon being reunited, the twins hewed even more tightly to one another and became more withdrawn from the rest of the world. Soon after 1981, the girls were arrested after a string of crimes and placed in a maximum security hospital for the criminally insane. Being hospitalized at Broadmoor Hospital did not prove easy for June and Jennifer Gibbons. The high-security mental health facility was not as lenient about the girls' lifestyle as their school and family had been. Finally, in March of 1993, after 12 years, arrangements were made for the twins to be transferred to a lower security clinic in Wales. Upon arrival at the new facility, doctors found that Jennifer was unresponsive. She had seemingly drifted off during the trip and wouldn't wake up. After being taken to a nearby hospital, Jennifer Gibbons was pronounced dead due to a sudden inflammation of the heart. She was just 29 years old. While Jennifer's untimely death was certainly shocking, so was the effect that it had on June. She suddenly began speaking to everyone, as if she had been doing her whole life. June was released from the hospital shortly after, and by all accounts, began living a fairly normal life. Thank you so much for watching. That's all from us at MysteryStock today. We will make you a new video almost every day, so don't forget to subscribe for more.